Hi, everyone. Welcome to TC Flag Football's Summer Power Rankings Review, sponsored by no one. We don't have any sponsors, but if you ever want to sponsor the league or a team or whatever, and you have a business that wants to do that, wants to advertise, feel free to do so. Communicate, talk to me, let me know. We can certainly put your logo somewhere on the video here and give you some recognition. That's my 30-second spiel on sponsorships. Let's move into it. So, power rankings. We're going to go backward in time for a couple of weeks because that's when the last time the power rankings were updated. So, just to recap, we'll go over the top 5 teams at this moment. Trojans, Lazy but Talented, Team 420, Game Time, Dementors are sitting at the top 5 as of 2 weeks ago. Now we're going to fast forward and recap what happened 2 weeks ago on the schedule here. So Game Time ends up defeating Diversity University 19-0 very confidently. Trojans win firmly 42-6 over Flag Football Team. Dirty Johns forfeits to Enzo Maniacs. They communicate well in advance. Thank you, Dirty Johns team captain, for reaching out and let us know. Flag Football Team benefits from their forfeit over Savages. They did not get as much of a notice, but it kind of worked out in their favor as they had a doubleheader. Lazy but Talented, wow, they lose 13-18 over to the Trojans. I want to say Lazy but Talented was like on a 20-game win streak before losing their first game. So congratulations to Trojans for knocking the team off and showing everyone why you're at the number 1 spot. This shows Team Warriors. This was actually Team MN420 losing to Game Time 34-6. For some reason or another, after that game, I think it was that Monday, Team 420 pretty much disbanded. Team captain said, "I'm done running this team." I don't know exactly what happened, and it's unfortunate because that team had a lot of depth in terms of veteran players. And so, if you have a team that's kind of needing some players, it might be good to reach out or put a post up to kind of see if any of those players want to join your team. But yeah, it was unfortunate. They lose 34-6 and then call it quits. So obviously, when that happens, as the league director, it kind of falls on me to figure out what's the next best step. And when you have those situations come up, you've got basically one or two options. Give every team an automatic forfeit win, or go find another team. I could have done the easy way out because 420 hadn't won a game, but we had an opportunity where we had a team that was late to registration, wanted to get in. I reached out to the team captain, and he basically confirmed that he could get a team in, and he did. And so when one door closes, another door opens, and that door opened up for Team Warriors. Unfortunately, Team Warriors played against my team, the Mentors, and we shut the door on them before they even had a chance to get on the field, 55-0. And I'll come back to Team Warriors here in a bit to talk about them because I know a lot of people have asked me some questions about them. Then we got Flag Football Team versus Dirty Johns, 21-21. That was not a tie game. That was a tie forfeit. Both teams, in the first time in the league history, both teams were unable to have a team field the game. Both teams showed up with 4 guys, and by rule, they didn't have the 5th by 5 minutes after the top of the hour, so they both forfeited 21-21. Lazy but Talented doing their thing, 40-6 over Savages. I wouldn't expect anything less from Lazy but Talented after they take an L against Trojans, so they got their redemption week. Savages is a team that's been basically hobbling so far through the season. Much of their roster is playing semi-pro, so it kind of is a little bit of unfair advantage to lazy but talented, but they get what they get, the W. Game Time versus Enzo Maniacs. I watched this game. Game Time was doing their thing like they normally do. They kind of had a couple of moments where you wondered if Enzo Maniacs was going to be able to, um, you know, get ahead of them. Game Time gave them plenty of opportunities. I almost want to say that there wasn't much points scored in the first half. It was all came in the second half, and even then, the second half it was 25-6, and then Chris throws the interception, pick six to the house to close the game out, making it 31-6. So let's go ahead and go back through the power rankings to see where everybody falls into place after this last week. We've got Trojans sitting on top, 5-0 record. Lazy but talented with that number 2 spot. Game Time in 3. Dementors holds the 4 spot. Enzo Maniacs at 5. Now, before I continue on, obviously the top 5 teams, there are teams that are experienced teams in this league, and I anticipate that all 5 teams will make the upper bracket playoffs. If one of these 5 teams doesn't, something's probably wrong, or somebody showed up in the bottom part of the league and did some serious upsets. Bottom half of the league: Diversity University, Savages, Team Warriors, Flag Football Team, and Dirty Johns. So I've got Diversity University sitting on top of the lower bracket right now. This is based upon a couple of things. One, they've got a win under their belts. 2, they probably have one of the more talented teams right now against these other ones. Savages sits right behind them only because Savages does have the potential to win games when their roster shows up. However, if their team does not show up, then they can find themselves falling further down from that 7 spot. Team Warriors, new team. Granted, they didn't put any points on the board, and they got really stomped out the first game. The one thing that I can say is they showed up with depth. They showed up with 12 guys. They showed up with a positive attitude. And even as the game was progressing, they were taking things that they were seeing from my team and applying it right there on the field immediately. So they're learning to quickly adapt, learning what other teams are doing, and are going to steadily progress. At least that's what I'm foreseeing from them. They sit ahead of Flag Football Team. Flag Football Team is a team that has shown up to TC Flag Football since the May the Best Team Win tournament, and then they went over to the Sioux Falls tournament. And, obviously they've got a team that is learning and growing and developing as well. Their biggest downfall right now is that they've taken a forfeit loss for their team not showing up. So that's going to hurt them in the rankings. And then Dirty Johns, 2 forfeits in a row, definitely raises some questions. I know teams are going to start asking me on a weekly basis, is Dirty Johns going to show up? So that's the reason why they're sitting in that 10th spot. Yeah, that's what we got for the power rankings. Let's go ahead and preview for this Saturday's games. So this Saturday, we're going to probably have some really close games. Definitely some unknown situations that are going to happen. The first being Dirty Johns versus Team Warriors. Both these teams sit at 0-4, winless. Both of them have an opportunity to come out with one of these two teams, I should say, has an opportunity to come out with a win unless they tie, which could possibly happen. I think they're relatively close in the same talent level. So it'd be interesting to see who wins that one. Flag Football Team versus Diversity University. This is, again, close match. Both teams need to show up and compete, and I think it'll turn into a pretty good game there. Savages versus Dementors. The question mark is, what type of Savages team are we going to get? Are we going to get some semi-pro guys going to show up, or are we going to get Savages that are, hanging on with 5-6 guys? That's really going to determine how far of a spread this game's going to be. Ultimately, I feel like my team Dementors will prevail and come out with the W. Enzo Maniacs versus Lazy but Talented. Enzo Maniacs, you got a 50-50 shot to guess which team you got. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde situation with them. Some weeks they are on it, and some weeks they are just not there or not clicking. Going up against Lazy but Talented, I said this before. Lazy but Talented is not completely the same Lazy but Talented that everybody knows. They've got a lot of key players missing out. You don't see DJ out there. You don't see Rabbit. You don't. I mean, there's a lot of guys on this roster. A lot of talent that is not playing right now, and this is anybody's game when they play them. But my gut is telling me Lazy's going to win by a couple of touchdowns on this one. And then you've got Game Time versus Dirty Johns. Game Time, if they played like they did last week, where they weren't clicking, they were missing things, and leave an opportunity for Dirty Johns to get in. I mean, there's a chance for an upset, very slim, but there is a chance. But I think Game Time pulls it out. Again, probably a couple of touchdowns on this one. Then you got Diversity versus Trojans. Rumor has it that the Trojans had a couple of guys that were out on injury, so they probably had the extra week to heal up and get better. So I would expect Trojans to come back with a full team and some ferocity to beat Diversity University. So that's where we're at this week. Games pick up on Saturday. We're going to be having all three fields, so there's not going to be any games postponed. We will definitely have all the refs available for this weekend's games. If you need to check your standings and scores, visit nexussportshub.com. And in closing, we do have some events that are coming up. End of July, we've got the flag football tournament in the heat of the summer, is I think the name of the theme, going to be at the West St. Paul Dome July 31st. Registration will be opened up this week. I've kind of delayed getting registration open to allow for other tournaments to get their registrations in, and then I'm going to have mine open. Also, registration for Fall League will be opening up soon. Fall League will be starting towards the end of August, early September, and run until October. Registration will start, more than likely this week and run until about the first or second week of August. Okay. Thanks for watching. This will probably be posted on Facebook and our YouTube channel. If you are a YouTube viewer, feel free to like and subscribe, and so that you get updated on the weekly flag football updates and power rankings. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.